What's good, y'all? It is Magnificent You Monday.
And today we're going to talk about, are you an advocate or an adversary to yourself?
Welcome to the Renegade Relationship Realists with Reverend Marquita Pierre McAllister and Rachel Dilling. Please be advised, this channel is rated R for realism.
Hi, my name is Rachel.
And I'm Reverend Marquita.
And today we're talking about, are you an advocate or an adversary to yourself? And we're talking about this because so often we don't necessarily support ourselves in becoming who we want to become, and we can actually sabotage ourselves.
Well, and for me, it was not even knowing that I was sabotaging myself.
Right.
For the longest time, I was simply being me, not realizing what I was being was actually not me. I was being who I was raised
Who you were supposed to be.
Who I was supposed to be.
Right.
The good little girl, although that's debatable.
Isn't exactly the truth, but go ahead.
So I did not know that I was even being an adversary to myself. I didn't know to listen to my own voice, and so I was more of a copycat of everything else I had seen.
Right.
And some of that wasn't really the best for me. So I wasn't conscious enough to know that I was being an adversary to myself. That actually took some work, some spiritual work, some self-improvement work to learn to listen to what was true to my heart, and then I could start to become more of an advocate for myself. I didn't even have a voice when I was little.
Interesting.
To even become an advocate for myself. I didn't know I was supposed to. So much was going on, and so I had no idea that I was sabotaging the good for myself. I had no idea that I could even choose to be an advocate for myself.
Right.
I would always go to an external person and hope that they would take up my cause. I didn't have the self-esteem to be an advocate for myself. And without that, you're one or the other. You're either being an advocate or you're being adversarial to yourself. But yet we tend to look outside ourselves, so we don't know that we're being one or the other.
That's true.
You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. What about
And so
you?
it's about listening to what's going on in your mind,
Absolutely.
too. One of my very favorite books, and I think I've mentioned it before, is The Untethered Soul.
Oh, yeah.
And The Untethered Soul, he does this whole thing about what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking? Who is thinking? And a lot of times what we're thinking, what's going on in that mind, is not true.
Right.
It's a story we've made up.
Many times it's a story we made up.
Absolutely. And even when it's the truth, it's still a story we've made up.
Well, everything's about perception.
Exactly.
So.
And so my thought is that if I'm not being an advocate to myself, I'm probably being very cruel to myself in my mind. And paying attention to that is really important. And it's habits.
Yes. Well, you pay attention so you can see what's going on, and I love the word habits, and I also love the word see the pattern.
Patterns, yes.
See the pattern that you've fallen into. But here's what's really important, and I want to be clear because this is Magical You Monday, that we don't, once we see the pattern, that we don't start beating ourselves up.
Yes.
I just did this. I just did this. So I was speaking at the SOAR conference, and I did what I do. I do this, and they clapped, and that's all wonderful. Yeah. I sat down, and in my head, I was doing, well, you didn't do this, and you should have done that, and blah, blah, blah. So I get up, and my persona is that I'm looking great.
Of
And
course.
people are coming up, and, oh, you did that, and what a great thing
And you
are.
said, thank you.
I said, thank you, da-da-da.
Yes.
And I went to a trusted friend, and I said, oh, my God, I didn't do this, and I didn't do that. And she said, okay, stop beating yourself up. Stop that. And I went, because that's what I was doing. I was being an adversary to myself in a moment that I had just done something terrific.
Right.
And people were letting me know I did a great job. They loved what I said, all of that. I sang. I did great with that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but when I got to my friend, I was criticizing me the whole time, and she had to just stop that.
So it takes a certain mindset to be able to stop yourself in that. And I have learned that when I hear me doing it, if I actually say out loud, stop, that it's enough of a jar in my mind to stop it. Now, it took me a lot of years to get to the point where I can hear myself and stop myself from saying it. But again, it's really about the habits. Because in the reality is that we are just big old bags of habits. We are.
You did